Dorothy Miller, a retired teacher from Ohio, thought she was dreaming when she first heard about a potential $4,000 payment coming her way. Like many Americans, she had suffered the inconvenience and worry of having her personal information exposed in a data breach, never thinking it would lead to compensation years later. But when she tried to claim her settlement payment last month, something went terribly wrong. Her payment failed, and she was told she might never receive what was rightfully hers. Dorothy's story isn't unique. Thousands of Americans are facing the same frustrating reality right now. If you found this concerning, make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Golden Money for more important financial updates that could affect your wallet. The payment Dorothy was expecting comes from a significant class action settlement involving Green Valley Pecan Company, a major food producer that experienced a serious data breach in May 2022. This wasn't just any ordinary security incident. It was the kind of breach that exposed sensitive personal information of countless customers, including names, addresses, social security numbers, and financial details. When cybercriminals gain access to this type of information, the consequences can be devastating for the people affected. Identity theft, fraudulent bank accounts, unauthorized credit applications, and years of financial headaches often follow such breaches. What makes this situation particularly important for you to understand is that many people who are eligible for these settlement payments don't even realize they qualify, or worse, they're encountering technical problems that prevent them from receiving their money. The settlement agreement, which was finalized after lengthy legal proceedings, provides compensation of up to $4,000 for individuals who suffered what the court terms extraordinary losses due to the breach. These extraordinary losses include documented cases of identity theft, fraudulent charges on credit cards or bank accounts, costs associated with freezing and monitoring credit reports, and other significant financial impacts that can be directly traced back to the data breach. Let me explain how this affects real people with another example. Consider Robert Chen, a small business owner from California, who discovered unauthorized charges totaling over $3,200 on his credit cards 6 months after the Green Valley Pecan Company breach occurred. Robert had to spend countless hours on the phone with banks, credit agencies, and law enforcement. He paid fees to freeze his credit, hired a service to monitor his financial accounts, and even had to take time off work to resolve the mess. These are exactly the types of extraordinary losses that qualify for the maximum $4,000 settlement payment. However, there's also compensation available for what the settlement calls ordinary losses. These are smaller but still significant expenses that many more people might have incurred. Ordinary losses can include bank fees charged when you had to close and reopen accounts as a precaution, costs associated with obtaining new identification, documents, phone charges from calling banks and credit agencies, travel expenses if you had to visit banks or government offices in person, and various other costs directly related to protecting yourself after learning about the breach. For these ordinary losses, the settlement provides reimbursement of up to $400, which might not sound like much, but for many people, especially those on fixed incomes, this money can make a real difference. The settlement also includes reimbursement for time spent dealing with the aftermath of the breach. If you had to spend hours on the phone, filling out paperwork, or visiting offices to resolve issues related to the data breach, you can claim compensation at a rate of $15 per hour for up to 3 hours of your time. This recognition that your time has value is an important aspect of the settlement that many people overlook. Beyond the monetary compensation, every person affected by the Green Valley Pecan Company breach is entitled to receive 2 years of free credit monitoring and identity theft protection services. These services typically cost between $10 and $30 per month, so the value of this benefit alone could be worth several $100s over the 2-year period. The credit monitoring will alert you to any changes in your credit reports, new accounts opened in your name, or other suspicious activity that might indicate ongoing identity theft issues. Now, here's where the payment failure problem becomes critical and why you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. The settlement received final court approval, but the distribution of payments has been complicated by several technical and administrative challenges that are preventing eligible people from receiving their money. First, many eligible individuals are experiencing problems with the online claim system. The website designed to process claims has been overwhelmed by the volume of applications, leading to frequent crashes, lost submissions, and error messages that leave people frustrated and unsure whether their claims were properly filed. Maria Rodriguez from Texas told me she tried to submit her claim 7 different times over 2 weeks before finally getting a confirmation that her submission was received. She's still waiting to hear whether her claim was approved, and like many others, she's worried that the technical problems might mean she'll never see her settlement money. Second, there are strict documentation requirements that many people are struggling to meet. To claim the maximum $4,000 for extraordinary losses, you need to provide detailed documentation proving that you suffered identity theft or significant financial losses directly related to the data breach. This means you need police reports, bank statements showing fraudulent charges, correspondence with credit agencies, receipts for costs you incurred, and other paperwork that proves your losses. Many people either don't have this documentation readily available or they're having trouble gathering all the required materials before the deadline. The documentation challenge is particularly difficult for older adults who might not be as comfortable navigating online systems or who might not have kept detailed records of every phone call and fee they incurred. Take the case of William Thompson, an 78-year-old retiree from Florida, who knows he incurred costs after the breach but can't locate all his bank statements from 2 years ago. He's worried that his claim will be denied simply because he can't prove every dollar he spent protecting himself. Third, there are payment processing issues that are causing delays and failures even for people who successfully submit their claims. Some people are reporting that their direct deposit information isn't being processed correctly, leading to failed payment attempts. Others are having problems with check payments being sent to old addresses. The settlement administrator's customer service has been overwhelmed, making it difficult for people to get help resolving these payment problems. The deadline pressure adds another layer of stress to this situation. While the specific deadline for filing claims varies depending on when you learned about the settlement, the general deadline structure means that people need to act quickly or risk losing their opportunity for compensation permanently. Unlike some government programs that might offer extensions or second chances, class action settlements typically have firm deadlines that can't be extended, even for people who experienced technical difficulties. Here's what you need to know to protect yourself and ensure you don't miss out on money that might be rightfully yours. If you were a customer of Green Valley Pecan Company, or if you received a notice about this data breach, you should check immediately to see if you're eligible for settlement benefits. Even if you don't remember being a customer, it's worth investigating because the company's products are sold under various brand names and through different retailers. You can still file a claim even if you only suffered ordinary losses or if you're not sure whether your problems were directly related to the breach. The settlement is designed to compensate people for a wide range of impacts, and you don't need to prove extraordinary losses to receive some compensation. Remember, even the ordinary loss compensation of up to $400, plus the free credit monitoring, worth several $100s, represents significant value. If you encounter technical problems with the online claim system, don't give up. Try submitting your claim at different times of day when the system might be less busy. Keep copies of all your documentation and take screenshots of any error messages you receive. If the online system continues to fail, contact the settlement administrator's customer service line and ask about alternative ways to submit your claim. For those who are having trouble gathering documentation, start with what you have and be thorough in documenting your efforts to obtain missing records. Contact your banks, credit card companies, and any other financial institutions to request copies of old statements that might show fraudulent activity or fees you incurred. Many institutions can provide these records even from several years ago, though they might charge a small fee. The most crucial information I need to share with you comes down to this. If you believe you might be eligible for this settlement but haven't yet filed a claim, time is running out. The payment failure issues I've described are real and affecting thousands of people, but they're also solvable if you take action now. Don't let technical problems or paperwork challenges prevent you from claiming compensation that could put thousands of dollars in your pocket. This Green Valley Pecan Company settlement represents one of the larger data breach settlements in recent years, and it's setting an important precedent for how companies will be held accountable for failing to protect customer data. The substantial compensation amounts reflect the serious financial and personal impacts that data breaches can have on ordinary people, and they signal that courts are taking these privacy violations seriously.